What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and this is my full review of the Blade 200QX from Horizon Hobby. And this is the awesomeness right here. No need to keep you guys guessing. You probably already know this thing is really awesome. This is a really awesome multi-rotor. It's brushless. It's my first brushless multi-rotor, and this thing is awesome. There's a big difference between the brush motors and brushless in performance. This thing outperforms all of the other quads I have because it's brushless. I can't say it outmaneuvers everything that I have because my X6058 is still more maneuverable than this. That thing is more nimble than this, but this thing is definitely faster. It has a ton of power compared to the toy grade quadcopters I've been flying. This thing is just great. But just look, this, you can see that I got the bind and fly back there. It says bind and fly on the box, so it doesn't come with a transmitter. You have to bind it to a DSM-2 or a DSM-X transmitter. 5-channel, I think, is the lowest you can go with it. I have been flying it with this here, the MLP6 DSM. So this is a 6-channel transmitter. I think this is the transmitter that comes with the Blade 100QX and the same transmitter that comes with the Blade Nano QX 3D. Because I was initially flying the 3D with this. It has all of the buttons you need to fly the QX 3D. It has all of the switches and buttons you need to fly this thing as well. This thing has 3 modes. Let me grab the box so I can look at them. I know one is the camera mode. The first mode is the camera mode, and it's indicated by a green light on the top right here. There's a steady green light there when you first started up on camera mode, and that will be position O on this switch here. You try to focus in on that. Yeah, position O on the switch there will have this thing in camera mode. Now that's the mode where it's really docile. It's not docile in the sense of the toy quads, like barely moving. This thing will move around, but the pitch angles are reduced greatly in order for you to, I guess, for photography and videography, if you're filming with the camera on the bottom of here or whatever, it limits the pitch angle so you don't fly so fast. And it's really easy to fly it in camera mode. So there you hit this switch to the middle, which will be position 1, and it switches this to stability mode. Now stability mode is let me fix this thing back where it was at. Stability mode is you do have help from auto leveling from the accelerometers on agility mode. Stability mode, I'm sorry, we're on stability mode. Stability mode, it's indicated by a blue light here. There'll be a steady blue light lit here to let you know that you're in that mode. And in stability mode, the pitch angles are very deep, so you can get really deep pitch angles and aileron and do nice banking turns and tight funnels with deep funnels and all. It makes this thing really fast. However, you still have the benefit of the 6-axis stabilization, or what they like to call it something different. What do they call it? I think it's smart technology they call it. Safe technology is what they call it. So they call it safe technology, but we know it as 6-axis stabilization. You'll have accelerometer help, so it won't tip over. It'll stay pretty much stable. Once you let off the sticks, it'll level out. So that's stability mode. Stability mode is definitely for experts. I don't recommend this quad for beginners at all. This is definitely an intermediate to experts flyers quad because of how much power is in this thing. These brushless motors, this thing will shoot past like a bullet. It'll fly up in the air, climb really quick. So if you don't know, if you lose orientation or you do one of those really silly mistakes or whatever, or like most people, they forget when I know beginners when they first start flying, usually a lot they'll forget about the throttle. They'll leave the throttle up or whatever, and forget, or they do mistakes like hitting the throttle up. This thing will rocket out into space somewhere and fly away, probably hurt somebody. It's really dangerous for a beginner. I wouldn't recommend it for a beginner. So yeah, in stability mode, this thing is definitely for experts, I think, because of the high pitch, deep pitch angles and the speed of this thing. It can get out of control really quick, and that can be something very, very scary to see a quad that can fly this fast. And it's not really that heavy, but it's heavier than most of the toy grade quads. You could really hurt something with this thing. Actually, let me put it on a scale. Let's see how much this thing weighs. Let me see. Let me get it in grams. We're gonna see how much this weighs in grams. Okay, so this weighs 149 grams, and that's without the battery or anything. With the battery, let's check it out with the battery. This is the stock battery here. 192 grams this thing weighs with the stock battery and all. So a pretty substantial weight to be flying into somebody's face or flying into a window or something. This thing can cause a lot of damage. So the third mode, which would be position 2 on a switch there, would put this thing in agility mode. Now, agility mode is no joke, folks. Agility mode, there's no 6-axis or safe technology help or anything. No type of stabilization from the quad. Everything, you just have to do it yourself. So you have to make your corrections. If it's leaning to the side, you have to make your slight corrections to keep it upright. It won't do it on its own, and that mode is definitely for experts and people who know how to fly 3D and flip things, without having 6-axis stabilization, because that mode is killer. Even I got a few bumps and bruises on here from flying it in agility mode. I flipped it once one time I was out flipping it, and I guess I flipped it too many times without giving pause, and I wasn't able to get it level. It was off to the side a little, so it was descending. I didn't have throttle up high enough either, and so by the time I got it back level, it was already going towards the ground, and it bounced off the ground like that, and I still had it in agility mode, and the shock from it bouncing off the ground must have did something weird with the accelerometer or something, because as soon as it bounced on the ground, it just turned sideways like that and just flew into the ground, and I ended up with it upside down like that with the props still spinning. The props didn't hit any obstruction or anything to stop it from spinning. So that was a weird situation for me. I also had a little crack. There's a little crack right here. You can see a little stress crack there as a result from that night I was flipping it. And this thing is supposed to well, it does for the most part. Whenever the blades hit an obstacle or something, it'll stop, and then this thing will start beeping. That's a feature. Whereas when you crash it, it'll just beep, and there's a white light that starts to flash here, and it beeps pretty loud to let you know where it is so you can locate it. and I think that's really awesome. So when you crash it, you don't have any problems finding it. Pretty awesome quad. This thing is really awesome. This is the stock battery. The stock battery it comes with is an 800 milliamp hour battery. It's I think it's 20C discharge rate. Yes, 20C discharge rate. But the deal that I got was on eBay, and it came with two extra Tenergy 900 milliamp hour batteries, and they're 25C, a higher discharge rate. So that was awesome. It came with a bunch of extras. Some of the other extras mines came with on eBay, and also I'll leave a link in the description so you guys will be able to see exactly the seller that I got this from. This came with the data cable that you can plug it up into the computer, and so you can download the other flight modes, because this also has 3 other flight modes that you can do. You have to buy the new 3D props to allow it to invert. So it has 3 other modes that I'm not familiar with. I guess I'll do another video on that once I do the data download and get those other 3 modes installed. So awesome quad. I really like this quad. It has great LEDs. LEDs shine through the body and the arm. It's not as good as, say, the JJRC 1000A or anything like that, but it is pretty nice. You can definitely see it at night. This is definitely a night flyer. You can see like the spots in the arms where it glows, it lights up. Unfortunately, it's red in the front and green in the back. But a good thing about that is the lights are just plug and play. So if you want it to be red in the back, you can easily just switch the red LEDs to the back and plug the green ones in the front if you just had to have it that way. I've heard of people flying it without the landing gear, but mine without the landing gear, it doesn't lay flush. These little nuts at the bottom here are nuts that hold the motors in place, but they're supposed to be able to double as landing feet pods or whatever when you don't have the legs on, I guess. But mine's it doesn't sit flush, so I haven't flown it without the legs on it because of that. And yeah, that's all there really is to say about it. It's just a really awesome multi-rotor, a big change for me because this is my first brushless, like I said. It comes with a balanced charger here. I also had a problem with charging it. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't know that you had to plug this wire in here to be able to plug the battery in. The battery balance charger doesn't fit in there, so you have to find this in the box and plug that in first, and then the balance charger goes in here, and you push, it'll be flashing green. Then you hit this button to start or stop it from charging. Once you hit this button, it'll start flashing red if your battery's dead, and then once it charges all the way up, it'll just turn green. And so that's it with the charging. It comes with an extra set of spare props. It comes with a prop tightening and removal tool. It comes with this tool here to tighten the motors on the bottom. This part tightens the nut on the bottom of the motor, and the other end here tightens the top screws where the prop is. Well, it tightens the nuts on top of the props. And we have some Allen wrenches in here, L wrenches to tighten the body with extra screws that go in the bottom there. So yeah, let's go check this thing out in flight now. Okay, so this is the outdoor flight demo of the Blade 200 QX. Just going to sit it down here. Make sure it's plugged in and bound to the transmitter. Okay, so there it is. Let me see if we can get it armed. To arm this, the motors on this, you have to go to the lower inner corners on the transmitters. But first you have to adjust the throttle. Until you hear that, then you know it's ready to be armed. So now the motors are armed. So here it is. You can see it's a really stable aircraft. Look at that. When pushing it back a little, but for the most part it's pretty stable. And you can see the green light on the top. I don't know if it's showing up on camera well, but that little green dot on the top of the rear lets you know that you're in the most docile mode. This mode here is for beginners, I guess. Well, I don't think this quad is for beginners, but this mode is limited on the pitch. It doesn't let you fly fast. So that's the fastest you can fly with this thing. That's the deepest pitch it'll get flying in this mode. And let me try to bring it down here. I'm going to land it here. And that's position 0 on the switch. And I am using the MLP 6DSM by E-flite. Now we're going to go to the one position, and you can see that a little light at the top of the rear of the canopy turned blue now. So now it's high angle attack on the pitch, so you can fly it really fast. This is the mode I fly in the most. You can really get this thing to fly fast on this mode. I don't want to fly too far with this transmitter. I don't know the exact range of it. I did lose range. I did fly out of range with this before. Luckily, I was flying it back towards me. I flew out of range really quickly. Briefly, it was out of range, and I had it spun around already, and I was flying it back, about to fly it back, and it just went off to the side and ditched itself in the grass over there. So no damage really there. So you can see this thing is a really nice flyer. It has a nice yaw rate. Let's look at the yaw rate. The yaw rate stays the same in all modes though. That's the yaw rate there. I believe it can be adjusted if you hook it up to the computer with the data cable, but I'm not completely sure. But that's the yaw rate we're working with now. You can see the pitch angles on aileron are nice, as well as the forward flying. The elevator pitch is nice. Look, this thing is almost vertical. So let's try the side flying, the aileron pitch. You can get that almost vertical as well. Now most of the flying that I'm doing now, I'm only using probably about 40% throttle to keep it in the air. And you can kick the throttle up on this thing and get it zooming by like a bullet. These brushless motors are really powerful. I hardly ever kick the throttle all the way up because it just fly out of range so fast. That's how I flew out of range before. I kicked the throttle all the way up, and before I knew it, I was out of range with it. So if you fly it fast, you're gonna have to turn with this transmitter. You're gonna have to turn really fast because it'll fly out of range really fast. And so the last mode is, let me land it. Okay, the last mode is 2 on the switch here, and that'll put it in a mode where there's no accelerometer help, so you have to do all the corrections and everything yourself, and that's really for advanced flyers. You can flip it over and all. I really don't mess with that mode because this frame here that it's in is very fragile. Just a light tap on the ground. I was flipping out here flipping it once, and I overcorrected on one of the flips, and it was hard for me to recover from it. And before I knew it, the quad, I had it turned back over upright again, but it still lost enough altitude to hit the ground with the landing gear there, and it sort of bounced up in the air. And I didn't take it off of that mode. I didn't take it off the expert mode, and so after it hit the ground on the landing gear, it sort of bounced over, and I think that might have triggered something weird with the accelerometer or something, but it just turned over really fast, and I ended up head down, upside down on the ground with the prop still spinning. And so I had to run over and grab it. I ended up with a small crack on the rear of the front right motor pod, I want to say. I think it is. Not much damage, but just from that light little tap on the ground, I got that crack. So I know this thing is really fragile. So actually, let's go into expert mode a little. You really have to be ready for that on that mode because it's really tricky. Okay, we're in expert mode now. You see there's no autocorrect there. Really easy to lose control of it. It's easy to switch it back to stability mode though. I'm back in a high pitch mode. Again, I forget what the mode is called. The wind has picked up. So yeah, that's it. There's no button to make it flip automatically or anything like that. Any flipping you're doing, you have to do it yourself. The LVC does flash. The lights and all of the lights flash. It's a progressive LVC, I guess, because it starts off with slow flashing, and the more battery drain it gets, it starts to flash faster. I never flew it until it actually fell. But yeah, that's just about it. All there is to show with this. We just fly it around a little, show you guys some stuff. And try to fly it into LVC so you guys get an idea of the battery life you get with it. This was a full battery. I'm guessing the battery is getting a little low now because I kicked the throttle up and it didn't go as fast as it usually does, and there it is. You can see it flashing now. Oh, it stopped flashing now. Occasionally that happens when you get to low battery. If you fly it hard or do something that requires the throttle to get kicked up, it'll flash a little to let you know that you're near. Let me see if I can show that. See that? It starts flashing when I turn sideways with it. Then if I sit still with it, yeah, LVC is still on. So that's it. I'm not going to fly it until it falls. And to get the motors to stop, to disarm the motors, you have to go down on the throttle trim until they stop. And so that's it. the Blade 200 QX. Thanks for watching. Whoa! Flipping it on low battery. Whoop! Think that's about it. Yeah, the battery's too weak. I'm not going to try to flip it anymore.